1843, Hans Christian Andersen first published the story of the ugly duckling. An odd-looking bird among other ducks, but as we all know, he grew into a lovely and majestic swan. I mention this only to introduce you to another lovely and majestic duck, the one we're serving up as our main course today. On our menu, crispy skinned duck breast, beet and goat's cheese tart tatin with frise and hazelnut dressing. Maybe they'll write a story about this someday. I'm Garret Schack, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. With apologies to Hans Christian Andersen, there's no ugly duckling, but only delicious duck today. On the menu is crispy skinned duck breast, beet and goat's cheese tart tatin with Frisse salad and hazelnut dressing. Let's get started. Okay, a couple things on the go here already. You can see I've got gorgeous couple of duck breasts here. Some people think they look a little funny when they're raw like this. I think they look fantastic myself, but I'm probably used to seeing them a lot. On the stove here, we have simple syrup that's already started. It takes a little while, so we want to kind of cook it down to the point where it's starting to go golden brown, and we're gonna make a gastrique with that. So we're gonna come back to that in a second, but we have to keep a sharp eye on it, because if it goes black, it won't be very good. What I wanna do first here is have a look at these duck breasts. Okay, so we got skin side and then the flesh side. You can see here there's a bit of silver skin on both of them here. We want to take that out. So with a nice sharp knife, you're going to kind of duck underneath, getting as close to that silver skin as you can, and then just peeling it away here. Okay, perfect. Next thing we want to do is on the skin side of this is score the duck. It's really important because that's going to help render out some of this fat. There is a nice layer of fat that needs to come out, and that helps our skin crisp up. So we're going to do what's called scoring and run our knife over it like this, being careful not to pierce the flesh. So again, a nice sharp knife here helps here, and not too much pressure, just enough to kind of get through that layer of skin and fat. There we go. Keeping a keen eye on my gastrique, on my sugar syrup here. We're looking for a little bit of that golden brown. We don't want to take it all the way to a caramel color, because we're going to continue cooking this afterwards. It's going to be the base of our dish. Going to turn on the pan at the back so that we can get some heat going. We want to start with a nice high heat, and then we're going to turn it right down and really let the fat render out of this. Key here is some salt, some nice fresh sea salt. Here we are. Don't be shy with the salt. That's going to help render out some of the moisture and help it get nice and crispy too. Black pepper, of course. Sugar, not quite there yet, but getting close. What we're going to do when it gets to that stage of caramelizing, we're going to actually add balsamic vinegar and let that stop. Balsamic and beets go hand in hand together. They're two beautiful combinations. We want a bit of heat over here. We're not quite ready. I'm going to put just a touch of oil, just a very little bit. We just want to stop that skin from sticking right off the bat, but then all the fat's going to render right out of this duck skin. Okay, our pan's nice and hot. We're going to drop the duck in there. All right, we're looking for that sizzle. Perfect. And the second one in. Very nice. Lindsay had a keen eye on that, I hope. And you can have a look at our caramel here. See how it's getting a nice golden color? Exactly what we want. But now is that point where we want to stop this. So in goes our balsamic vinegar. Be very careful here. Use a deep pot because it's going to start spattering. There you go. You can stand way back. Oh my goodness. No, it's not that bad. Definitely try it at home. Okay. And now we can turn the heat off on that one. Perfect. Our duck's sizzling away there nicely. I want to season the other side of it. Okay, so some salt. Very nice. Our black pepper again. There we go. As soon as you put that duck in the pan, the skin starts releasing that fat because we've scored it, and you can really start to smell the flavor of duck. It has a really unique and delicious flavor. Now, our gastrique's done. To make our tart tatin, we're actually going to build it in this cast iron pan here. So we want to put this coating of this sort of sweet and sour flavor of balsamic and sugar. So that's going to go into our pan. And we just want to make sure that we have enough in there to coat the bottom of the pan nicely. Perfect. Oh, look, you can see how thick it's gotten already. Do you see that there? That looks great. Here we go. So we're just using a cold cast iron pan. That's perfect for this application. We're going to pop this whole thing into the oven in a minute. But you can actually see that the sugar has started to, it's thickened right up there. So, okay, grab our beets. And we're going to just lay these out nicely here. Here's where we get to make our dish look really fancy. And these ones right here in the middle, okay? Now we've got our gastrique, we've got our beets. We want to add some more flavors here. Some lovely rosemary that I'm just going to give a rough chop to. Kind of tough getting those full needles, you know? So we want to kind of chop them up, break them up a little bit here. There we go. We're just going to sprinkle those right over top. Very nice, very nice. And then some goat's cheese. Again, just some nicely crumbled goat's cheese. Goat's cheese is amazing. It's a wonderful, wonderful cheese. It can be used in desserts. It can be used as main courses, in salads. It's just really versatile and delicious. In fact, the spring goat's cheese is even better because all that green grass, the goats devour it, and you get more goat's cheese with a more intense flavor. Okay, I think that's just about enough there. Now we need to go to the fridge and grab our puff pastry. When you're working with puff pastry, which is the base of a tart tatin, you really have to make sure that you keep it cold until you're ready to use it, okay? So I'm gonna grab it from the fridge here. I got one sheet, that should be enough for us. There we go. And this part's really easy. We just set it right down over top, and we're gonna press it right in there like this. Now you're going, well, what about all that extra stuff? Well, no big deal. We just fold it right over. A little bit more pastries, always good. We're not worried about it. Excellent. Now this is going to go into an oven. We want a nice hot oven, about 400 degrees, because that's going to create the puff in our puff pastry and give us some height to this dish. Now we'll be back later in the show to pull together our crispy duck breast with beet and goat's cheese tart tatin and a Frisse salad with hazelnut dressing. But first, following the break, we're going to get out of this kitchen. You'll want to stick around for that. All right, into the oven with you. Another beautiful West Coast day, and I'm out on location at the Songhees Seafood and Steam food truck, where they do authentic, with a twist, First Nations food. Chef Dave Rogers is up in the truck right now. How are you, Chef?
Good. How about yourself?
How are you, mate? Yeah, nice to see you. So what's on the agenda for today?
Well, I'm going to be cooking you one of our top dishes.
All right.
It's the wild sockeye salmon burger. Ooh. With candied red onions, lemon pepper aioli,
yeah,
and on our famous fry bread.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, you had me at sockeye and sold me on fry bread.
Absolutely.
Mind if I pop up and have a look?
Absolutely. Come on.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, Chef, so wild sockeye salmon served on a fry bread. Yeah. Where do we start?
Well, first of all, we pan fry it. Okay. So we're just going to get the pan in here. We're just going to get it a little bit hot. A little vegetable oil.
Yeah, very nice.
And then we use wild sockeye salmon. It's a 5-ounce portion that we use.
So you fry these, you sort of pan sear them to order every burger?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So I do presentation side down first.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And you can tell this guy's worked in professional kitchens. Hey, he knows the tricks. Fantastic.
So all our salmon is marinated in fresh lemon, thyme, olive oil, roasted garlic.
Yeah, sounds delicious. Now this truck is more than just a moneymaker for the ownership, right? This is also about community and training. So why don't you just run me through a little bit of how that works as far as the training program goes?
Well, I've been working with the Songhees Nation for about a year now, and one of the biggest things that they believe in is training. Right. And I honestly want to give back to the community. Nice. So I joined forces with them, and this is our first focus. This is the food truck. So I'm basically hired all the staff from the Songhees, and basically I'm training them. Fantastic. And then I'm going to be going back to the wellness center, and we're going to be opening up a different training program with Camosun College.
That's great.
So it's just
a great way to engage the youth.
Absolutely.
Too, right? So and if they were standing here right now, they'd be able to smell how delicious that salmon smells. Oh my goodness. The roasted garlic really comes out in it. A little bit of that lemon, it's fantastic. Very nice.
So this is our fried bread.
Very nice, yeah.
Right? So there's two different types of bread.
Perfect. I was going to ask that question. Yeah, you beat me to it.
There's traditional bannock bread, which is basically made with an yeast and baked. This is fry bread, which we're using for the salmon burger and the bison burger, and it has baking powder.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So it reacts with the heat of the deep fryer.
Exactly. And it's very light. You can see inside inside. You can see all the light pockets.
Yeah, super airy. That looks great.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our honey mustard, or lemon pepper.
Yeah.
And we're going to drizzle over top.
Very nice.
And then we're going to take our candied red onions.
Salmon, red onions, lemons.
Yeah, lemons. And then
not cheap on the ingredients either. I like a 5-ounce piece of salmon. Got a lot of onions on there. That looks great.
And then we put a little bit of rocket salad, arugula.
Ah, yes. Arugula, add a little bit more pepperiness, hey?
Yeah.
I love arugula. It's fantastic. Very nice.
Like I was saying earlier, it's all. This is our #1 seller.
I bet. I can see why already, and I haven't even tried it yet. Should we check on the salmon?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at that.
So we just steamed it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we put that on top. And then I like to always finish it off with a little bit of
More splash of that is it lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Oh wow,
that's our salmon burger.
Look at that, everybody! That looks just amazing. Holy smokes! First Nations food at its best, right here, huh? With a twist. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, let's see. So we're just
put it right on there, squish it down.
You can feel the crispiness of the fry bread. That's just fantastic. All right, how do I eat this? I think you did this on purpose, didn't you? You're like, yeah, let's find the messiest one we can possibly get Chef to eat here. All right, I'm gonna give it a bite here. That piece right there.
That salmon's wonderful, isn't it?
So good. I don't know how you beat wild Pacific sockeye salmon. So delicious. It's perfectly cooked, by the way, Chef.
Oh,
very good job. Onions complement it nicely, and the crispiness. Fry bread's so unique. A little bit crispy on the outside, but it's still got that nice soft texture inside. It's amazing. It's magic. I'm a bit of a mess, but thanks so much, Chef, for having me on the truck. Really appreciate it. I'm going to get out of your way and let you get on with your lunch rush.
Well,
all right, we'll talk to you later. I'm not leaving without the sandwich, man. Thank you. It's back to our kitchen where we're working on crispy skinned duck breast, beet and goat cheese tart tatin with a Frisse salad and hazelnut dressing. Lots going on, so you're back just in time. The tart tatin is still working away in the oven. I've had a look at it. The puff pastry's coming. We're looking for some golden brown color now. Let's have a look at our duck breast here. You can see all that fat's rendered out nicely. Look at that. It smells incredible. Like duck just has this amazing smell. So we're gonna flip these over, and the next cooking period here on the flesh side actually doesn't take nearly as long. We're only gonna cook this duck to about medium rare medium, okay? If you go too far, it's gonna be really dry. There's the next one. Look at the gorgeous color we got on those. So now, let's leave those on the sort of medium heat here for a little bit and turn our attention to our salad. So for today's episode, we've got Frisse. Frisse is a really interesting lettuce. This is sort of the Frisse hearts. You might find it in a farm where it's kind of bushy way out like that. You want the nice tender leaves in the middle, so that's kind of perfect right here. And Frisse is actually a French word for curly. We're gonna twist the core out. Boom, there we go. Now it does have a slightly bitter taste, so if you are eating those sort of outside leaves, they're a little bit more bitter and also just a touch on the woody side. So definitely look for the hearts, I guess, if you wanna call them. You can see the curly sort ofness of that lettuce, which is fantastic. We've got some hazelnut here, award-winning hazelnuts right here from the coast. There's not much you can't find around here. I heard somebody's actually growing mangoes on the coast here. Just gonna crush them up here with my knife. Okay, we could put whole ones in there, but it's a little bit nicer to eat when you do it like this. Lightly roasted. Try to peel as much of the skin off as I can. Don't worry, don't sweat it too much, okay? And those can go right in. Got a little container here, boat motor. Okay, call this a boat motor in the kitchen, immersion blender. It has all kinds of fancy names. I like boat motor because it's fun. We need a few ingredients here. We need some Dijon mustard. Get that right in there. About a tablespoon or so. Do the trick. We have some hazelnut oil. We're just gonna splash in there, probably, that's about 2 tablespoons worth. Some vegetable oil. Hazelnut oil is quite expensive, so you wanna cut it with this vegetable oil. And then I'm using a red wine vinegar. So the rule of thumb with any vinaigrette is 3 parts oil, 1 part vinegar. So when you're looking at it, if you get right down there like that, yeah, you can kind of measure it out and figure it out for yourself. Now I like my vinaigrettes a little bit more tart, so I'll tend to adjust that ratio. I leave that to you. Have some fun in the kitchen, okay? We are gonna add a few more hazelnuts right to our dressing. And again, I'm gonna crush them up. Just using my knife here. Yeah, there we go. And a little bit of fresh thyme in there. Thyme adds a really nice sweetness. Kind of want to pick the leaves off for sure. The tips are really tender, which is nice. So you can kind of strip them off just like that, and you're left with the tender bit in your hand. And now the fun part, we get to use the boat motor. In it goes. Sort of start off slowly, get things moving. And there we are. Look at that. Emulsified because of the Dijon. And it's as simple as that. We're gonna give it a little taste here because I haven't added any seasonings yet. I'll find another spoon. Delicious. It's a little bit too tart, so I'm gonna add a little touch of hazelnut oil and a bit more vegetable oil. I like it tart, but not that tart. Fresh cracked pepper, of course, and a good pinch of salt, and we'll get the boat motor back in there one last time, and we'll be ready to dress our salad. Awesome, there we go. Okay, our dressing's ready. Put a little bit on another spoon here, put a little bit on our salad. Do this pretty close to time of service because you want to get the flavors to start to work and break down a little bit of the frise, but not to the point where it turns into mush, okay? Use our tongs here, whisk it around just a little bit. Perfect, and then we're gonna have a look at our duck again. See how that side's coming along, but I think we're pretty close. I could probably turn off the heat and let the residual just finish it off. Oh yeah, nice, very nice. I'm gonna pop this out onto a little tray here to rest. Like any steak or roast or whatever, you wanna let it rest. This one won't have to rest for half an hour or anything, but you wanna let it rest so all those juices kind of start to come back into the meat itself. Now here's something you definitely don't wanna waste is this duck fat. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm just gonna pour it into a little glass here. And we'll reserve that for, I mean, if you wanna make some potatoes with it later, there's all kinds of different things you can do with that. Let's go to the oven and have a look at our tart tatin and see how we did. Hopefully that's puffed up nicely, and it'll look just absolutely gorgeous. Holy smokes, I wasn't kidding, look at that. Woo. Smells incredible. I can smell the goat's cheese right away, the beets are coming through. Incredible, look, puff pastry, you can see it's puffed right up. Now, apparently there's a couple sisters in France. This is where the tart tatin came from. Normally it's a dessert. And I'm guessing what happens is they were too busy arguing or fighting or gossiping to worry about what was going on in the oven, and they burnt their tart. So what are you gonna do if this side's burnt? I'll show you. Flip it right over. Now you cross your fingers. Look at that. Perfect. Couldn't have asked for that to turn out any better. My goodness. Smells incredible. Got those lovely golden beets. That balsamic's gonna add a bit of tartness to the sweet of our dish. Can't wait to dig into this. Let's just cut it right in half down the middle. And then we're gonna cut another little wedge right here. Let's get that right on our plate, just like so. Oh, beet snuck away, maybe that's for me. So good. Beets are incredible, super sweet, just delicious. Okay, let's have a look at our duck. We've let it rest for a little bit here. Now we gotta slice it. Just nicely, right down like this. Look at that. Okay. Now you see I flipped it over to the skin side. We wanna turn it back over, and we're just gonna present this on the plate as so. Oh man, I love duck. And then last but not least, we want our hazelnut salad. It's had a chance to just wilt a touch. Hazelnuts, frise, and we're just gonna put this neatly right on top here. There we are. A little more dressing. Now here's where you get to have some fun and be creative as a chef. You kind of just take your spoon, give it a little drizzle, and then just when you thought I was done, we're gonna grab another spoon and some of that gastrique that was left over, And the same thing, contrasting colors. Oh man. I don't know, that one came together really well. I'm happy with that. But there you have it. Crispy skinned duck breast with beet and goat cheese tart tatin, Frisse salad, and hazelnut dressing. Incredible. I can't wait to dig into this one. Now what better way to enjoy this amazing feast than with a choice beverage? With me today is Carol and her daughter from Dragonfly Hill Vineyards. Hi Linnea, how are you?
Good, how
Thanks
are you?
for being here.
Thank
Carol,
you.
welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
Now,
Good to be back.
I know we've got Merlot going with the duck, but this isn't just any Merlot. This is a special one, so I'd love to hear the story about it.
It's a 50-50 blend of Merlot and a new variety of red called Labelle. We got to name that grape because I was the first person in the world to plant it.
Wow, that's
And
impressive.
It's a nice French-Canadian name, but it also means dragonfly in
In Dutch.
European Dutch and European languages.
Very cool.
Spelled a little bit different, but it fit for
There you
what
go.
we were.
Thank you, madam. I think I'm going to like her. That's great. Thanks for bringing her along. Oh, that has a really unique nose. It smells fantastic. So we have a little sip here and then see how it goes with the duck. Very nice. All right, who's going to be the first to dig in here?
Go for it, Linnea.
All right.
Come on, Linnea, grab your fork and knife there.
All right.
So we got a tart tatin here with the beets.
Wow.
Don't be shy. Grab some duck, whatever you need. Come on, Mom, get in here.
Yeah, get in here, Mom.
I'll get in.
Oh, she was going right for the wine. So sweet, the beets.
Oh yeah.
But the duck's the real star here, isn't it? And does it work with the duck? Do you think it's a good match?
Totally works with the
Mom
duck.
did a good job. She picked a good wine.
Yes.
Awesome. nice job, Carol. Well done.
Thank you. And now, Garrett, in the province of BC, wineries, breweries can sell at farmers markets on Saturdays and some of the night markets. So now Dragonfly Hill will be available at our local markets in British Columbia.
Nice. Like how progressive of us here in
I
BC. Hey, yeah. So not only local markets, but we can also find your stuff in private liquor stores, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks so much, you two, for being here. Carol,
Thank you.
for the award-winning hazelnuts. Really great in the dish. Check out our website where you'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garret Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor.
Thank you.
Everybody, yeah. That's great. You made short work of this duck.